So when breeding dogs, you have to be extremely careful when it comes to vets, right? Because, whether you're choosing a vet to do a procedure or your local vet, using them on a regular basis, whatever the case may be, vets do discriminate. And you need to be mindful, you need to be careful, because I'm going to share a story with you guys as some of my experiences so that it can help you guys when it comes to dealing with some of these vets, so you don't have to discriminate against you and, lose money.
I got you right now. What's going on, Bully fam?
Alright guys, so it's your boy the Educator, the Scientist, Mr. W Most Aligned Bulls, bringing you another episode of Breeders Hacks. And real quick, I'm just going to share a little story with you guys lately, and this is why you need to be vigilant on who you choose as a vet, right? This was before I knew how to freeze semen myself on my stud dogs. I went to this one vet. I felt like I asked all the right questions when it came to the process, but where I failed was I felt like I didn't ask the right questions as far as how the vet felt about, I don't even want to say about breeding, because obviously if they freeze semen, they're pro-breeder, right? My mistake was, I'll just give you guys a rundown. I went to this vet wanting to get frozen start off with one of my dogs. They told me the charge would be, I believe, $400 to $600. And if the dog was a candidate that they could potentially freeze semen, then it would be another $300 or something like that. So in my head, I'm like, all right, well, my dog has plenty of, puppies on the ground, plenty of litters, things like that. So there's no problem. So when I go over there, they inspect the dog. They do everything to the T. I mean, I'm talking about even tested my dog for brucellosis, which is, it's good practice, but it was they wanted to test everything before even thinking about freezing semen on my dog. So after he passes all the tests and everything, then they turn around and, they take my money, which was, like I said, it was a decent amount of money. And then they go on to tell me that the dog's not a candidate, that we couldn't freeze semen off of him because of his sperm count. Knowing what I know now, what his sperm count was, and even checking back at home, I was like, there's no way his count could have been that low for the freezing. So in my head, it really didn't make sense to me as to why they wouldn't freeze the semen off of my dog. But they still took, $500 of my dollars. I have a buddy of mine who later comes and tells me that, oh, you went to that vet? Well, that particular vet actually confided to me and told me that they actually do not like dealing with bullies or bully breeders. So I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. That's exactly why she probably didn't want to freeze the semen on my dog, because of the fact that she's pro-breeder, but just not pro-bully breeder. I mean, it's a little bit of my mistake. I should have got more referrals from other bully breeders that maybe I'd gone to this particular vet. When I started to ask around, it turns out it wasn't too many. And essentially, she kind of discriminated against me and my dog, and I had to pay for it, So obviously I never went back over there again, but it just goes to show, that's just one story. That's just one story. I've had multiple situations because, they see an individual like me who maybe is covered in tattoos and comes in with a bully, they have some type of stereotype. That was me going against my own rule at the time. So I was just excited to try to freeze semen off my dog. But yet again, like I stressed to you guys, and just like the episode that we did on talking about how to choose a good vet, but really make sure you interview these vets. Because like I said, if you don't ask, they may not tell you their hidden agenda. And they may have a hidden agenda where they're maybe they're pro-breeder, but maybe they're not a fan of Rottweilers or bullies or pit bulls or whatever the case may be. And you're spending money with this particular vet, trusting this particular vet, and they may be robbing you blind. Listen, there are some great vets out there. I have to shout out, there's a vet in New Jersey, Dr. Carlos. He's not taking any new patients, guys, so don't think you're stealing my vet. An amazing vet with a great heart that really cares for the dogs and really enjoys and cares for reproduction. You need to find vets like that, because there'll be other vets who, like I said, they may have an agenda. They may not like breeders. They may not like your breed. They may not like you. So I just tell you that story in the sense that, I had to pay for that. But obviously, since then, I've wisened up and I've been able to find vets that are actually really, really good, really cool, down to earth, want to help breeders, so on and so forth. So, hey, if you need help finding a vet in your tri-state area, I could point you to a few good vets. But otherwise, guys, just stay vigilant. And that's it. I think this is the moral story. Not every vet is out to be your friend. You know, some of them, it's about money. Some of them, it's about they want to spay and neuter everything. And I have a vet that's very adamant about spay and neuter. You know, they run a spay and neuter clinic over here, and they're very inexpensive. But I just know that when I go over there, that's their agenda. So I don't really boast that I'm a breeder or whatever the case it may be. If I'm going, it's maybe because I have a dog that's going to a pet home and needs to be spayed or neutered or whatever the case may be. And they're more than glad and happy to do it at that point. You know, but if I go for maybe like a C-section, they're probably going to want to spay the dog after I do the C-section. And I even know some vets who will do a spay right after doing the C-section and not even tell you. There's certain procedures that I've done homework on now that the vets are actually like learning to do, where they can essentially neuter your dog and you not know. You have to be extremely careful, extremely careful. How would you know if a vet like spayed or neutered your dog? You probably wouldn't know, especially like someone who's very like inexperienced, and depending on what you went in for, like you wouldn't know if they spayed or neutered your dog. So it's like, especially with some of the procedures that they have now, you got to be careful. It's kind of scary, you know? Like, I had a friend of mine that it actually happened to. Like, he went for a prolapse surgery where basically like the dog's penis, like it was prolapsing at the tip of the penis, looked crazy. And he is actually dealing right now with a court situation because he's trying to prove that he believes that the vet actually neutered the dog. Ever since that surgery, now whenever he goes to pull that dog, the dog spits 0 sperm whatsoever. Prior to the surgery, the dog was spitting plenty of semen. So now, essentially, after the dog had the surgery done, the dog is sterile. So I don't even know how you could fight that. It's tough. I don't know how you would fight that in court. So, and he went to this vet, not off of really referrals or anything, but it was the only vet that he could find that would really do the surgery for the dog because it's such a specialty surgery. So, you know, like I said, it gets scary. Imagine you taking your dog to the vet thinking you're doing the right thing, and next thing you know, your dog is sterile. Can't have puppies, can't produce semen, nothing. Sheesh. And imagine he spent a lot of money on the dog. That's why these vets, they can either make you or break you. You gotta be careful. Make sure you interview them, you know? That's really the moral of the story, guys. So just stay vigilant, stay careful. I hope this information is helpful. I hope my experience, you guys can learn from it, and it's useful. Drop a comment down below and let us know your experience with your vets. You know, have you had great experiences, bad experiences? I mean, hey, maybe you might even want to do a referral and drop the vet that you go to down below. So anyway, guys, hope this information is helpful. Hope it's useful. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Bears Hacks. All right, guys.